questions. Series of theories, series of theories. Asking all the big questions.
Hey up lads, I've had an idea about the podcast.
Series of theories. Asking all the big questions. Series of theories, series of theories. Asking all the big questions. Series of theories, series of theories.
Hello and welcome to Series of Theories podcast, the podcast where we take on the big questions. Today's big question, what we got, Sam?
I can't remember. Is technology improving sport?
Is technology improving or harming sport?
Yeah.
Or harming.
What is the theory?
We will give you our theory on this now. So, Josh, like it? You in technology? Good. Makes sense?
On the whole, yes.
Done.
On the whole, yes, definitely. But there are obviously a lot of drawbacks to it that we'll discuss.
I mean, should we start negatively? Do you want to go down the path of why we don't like it?
Yeah, it's going to be mainly football focused, I'm pretty sure on this.
There'll be, in terms of bad, because, you know, I love boxing, I love MMA, and seeing everything in slow motion, what it can do for the commentary and the analysis afterwards, brilliant.
Yeah.
You can see all them angles, you've got everything you need. It doesn't seem to affect that sport too much, especially a slow-mo knockout. There's no greater watch, is there?
No.
But if we're looking at how it negatively impacts sport, I can really think of VAR.
I was going to say three letters.
Is very much my idea and theory of it. Is I don't like it in football. No. Probably 90% hate, 10% I can give understanding to. Is where I'm at.
The irritating thing with it and goal line technology, before it happened, people were calling for it for years.
Yeah.
We're saying that all the other sports have got this sort of thing. Why doesn't football? And then as soon as football brings it in, it's shit.
Well, now you look at it, don't you? Like, goal line technology works.
Oh, goal line technology is great. I'm not.
Because there's something in that. Is it the material the ball's made out of, and when it crosses the line to its fullest, the referee's watch will shake?
Yeah, there's a camera in the
buzzers,
camera in the goal,
there,
isn't there?
Yeah, and then you can see it. It's the same technology as Hawkeye in tennis, isn't it? It's exactly the same as is it in or is it out?
Yeah.
Because that's linear though, because that's black or white.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
The difference we've got with VAR is it's not black and white. It's still got the decision. You've still got the argument there.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it. I was one of the people who before I was like, I want VAR. I really want VAR. It's going to be great. It's going to fix the game. It's going to make sure that nothing's disputed. Everything's going to be completely right or wrong.
Yeah.
A decision, but it's not clear. It's still not clear because a lot of these decisions are subjective, and all it's done is thrown up questions around the laws of football. It's thrown up questions about whether the offside rule is right, whether the handball rule is right. And I've never seen the rules in football change so much in a quick space of time than I have in the last season or two. They just have to keep changing rules because they're not working, and that's the problem. I think is for me, it's ruined it a little bit when it's come in.
Yeah, you go, Josh.
I was just going to say the main thing that's ruined, in my opinion, the only thing that's ruined, in my opinion, is the pace of the game.
Yes, yeah.
The fact that
waited 5 to 10 minutes,
and then they still get it wrong.
Yeah,
like I think rugby and cricket have got it down in that respect. Because I know in cricket it's definite, but in rugby I'm pretty sure it's the same. I might be wrong because I don't watch much rugby, but I'm pretty certain that whenever it goes to the third umpire, they've got a minute or a certain time limit to make the decision, and if they don't make the decision, then the referee's decision stands.
Yeah. I think it should be that.
Is that in rugby?
It's definitely in cricket.
I'm pretty sure that's
it probably is.
Well,
I remember a few in the World Cup and so on. I remember specifically probably 2 World Cups ago, but it was England against South Africa.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who was on the wing, but his toe was just on the line or out.
Was that the final?
It was the final, yeah. And the try, but they must have spent 5 minutes on that, I'm sure, because I was waiting so long, sweating, panicking. Yeah, not to be as well.
Yeah,
But no, in one
that
day
was not a
cricket,
good one.
in one day cricket, it's definitely they have a certain time limit. It's either 30 seconds. Or a
Right,
minute.
that's interesting, because I don't watch. I watch more rugby than cricket.
Yeah, but then I've seen it before on the screen. It's literally counting down
Right,
as the umpire's
okay.
making his decision.
Yeah.
Then when it hits 0, it'll either come up, out, or not out.
Yeah.
That's
So I think
interesting.
If football went that sort of
Important.
way, it would definitely improve the pace of the game.
The one thing I remember, we went with my dad to watch Leicester Arsenal at the game, and it's changed the atmosphere of the fans. Do you know when you
Yeah.
Can't
score?
celebrate, can you?
They don't
Yeah,
celebrate.
when you score, everyone's like, "Oh, was it though?" Because it looked a bit weird from
Yeah.
here. We probably have. It's not a goal.
Yeah.
And you can remember back in the day when you go and watch a game, and you
that
score,
feeling is amazing.
Everyone went absolutely mental. You're all up together, going mental,
Falling over chairs.
Yeah, and then later on, you watch Match of the Day together, and it goes, "Oh, it wasn't really a goal, guys," but
Yeah.
it was obviously a goal.
Yeah.
But the scandal comes out of something. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
We had the best time in the moments. When it's against you, I want VAR.
Yeah.
I want changes.
It is one of them, isn't it,
When
really?
it's for you, you love it. But yeah, I honestly remember being at a game, and I've not been to a game before. After VAR. And it was just a different experience.
I've not been to
genuinely.
one since
No,
VAR's been
It's
actually.
very
I've never been to a game. Well, VAR's been, I think, no.
My dad, the biggest, like I've said to you before, but the biggest football fan going, giving up, hates football, but still turns it on. And as soon as there's a stupid decision or something he doesn't agree with, it's game off. He won't watch it
Really?
again.
Yeah.
I feel for him because he's not got much in his life. He's got the guitar, and he's just football, and it's ruined it for him genuinely. And he's not the only man alone to feel this of that generation
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
I think it needs scrapping personally. I don't see what it's bringing to the game. That it's making it better. It's not making the game better for me. It's making it worse. It's making it slower, and it's not clearing up decisions. Still.
No.
There's
That's
still
it.
a lot of
still
contention.
exists afterwards.
Yeah, so the purpose it was brought in for, it's not serving the purpose, so get rid of it.
I think I could
Don't
probably
need it.
live with the delays if it was 100% foolproof,
Yeah.
but it's just not.
It's not,
Yeah.
is
Like
it?
Yeah.
You've
like
always said it, haven't you? You've always said the referee's right when he's
It's
even
that
when he's
whole
wrong.
saying,
You say it
isn't
all
it?
the time,
Yeah,
don't
the
you?
referee is always right, even when he's wrong. That always used to be what I remember we had a coach that used to teach me that, like when I was a kid.
Yeah, just
Like,
go along
'cause
with
no matter what, like,
referee-
yeah,
keep playing it.
basically, like if we were all coming off the pitch moaning at the ref, and he just
Yeah.
goes, "You know what? The referee's always right, even when he's wrong."
Yeah.
and I thought,
I like that.
you know
Yeah.
what? You've got
Yeah,
a point.
yeah, it's good. It's good
Yeah.
Suck
saying.
it up and carry on playing, and that's what it should be.
Allow
really.
human error
Yeah.
in the sport. If you're fully the better team by miles, not always is this the case, because you see somebody absolute trample a team to shreds and then they lose or they get a shabby draw out of it.
Yeah.
But usually the best team come out on top and you've got 3 or 4 goals down there. I don't mind human error. I really don't. I know in the World Cup when bloody Lampard smashes it from
That was-
20 yards out and then it goes over the line
It's
this
miles
much.
over the line. That changed the game.
Let's say we've got goal line technology for that,
Yeah.
and the buzzer we trust, but I don't want subjectivity
No,
to come.
but I'm still a fan
stay.
of goal line. Like that should
yeah.
100%
Yeah,
stay in.
I agree
for
with
me.
that.
It's just that, I mean, the offside thing's an interesting one because offside could possibly work if we actually cleared up the rule. Because I don't think the rule's right at the moment for
weird,
offside.
isn't
It's
it?
if you're a hair offside or
part
and
of
where
your
does the
body you
line
can
get
score
drawn? Who
with now,
decides what
isn't
the
it?
line is?
It's a paper thin gap of air between them or sunlight, and
Yeah.
does that work?
I don't know how they could change it. That's the only other thing.
Yeah,
So
that's my problem.
I think without having a kind of solution for it, you may as well just get rid of it and just go back to how it was. Because, I mean, how many wrong decisions were there? There were a few, but again, that was kind of part of the game.
was part, yeah.
Fighting's part of ice hockey, so
yeah.
that's not really part of the game.
I just like to
but
know
it's
what's
fighting.
going off because a big tackle could have happened, and then your third in your ear of the referee is saying, "Oh yeah, you need to go back to this, and we're going to analyse it and look at it." And then they stop the game for no reason or a reason.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going off, and then you just see one of your favourite players get a red card
Yeah.
for something that happened 3 to 5 to 10 minutes ago, and he's missed. Just allow.
Yeah.
Human error where the referee can't be all the eyes. I think we can better it, and I think the goal line technology betters it. A few more eyes, but we can't give in to what it's become.
No,
I
you
think
lose the feeling.
It has. It's become very robotic, and it's not a nice experience.
It's become all about the referees again.
Yeah,
It's not about the footballers anymore. It's not about the game playing. It's not about the football. It's about the decisions that are being made.
If you're
and that's
playing
the
in
problem.
fear, do you know, through the whole game, you're like, oh, if I make one wrong touch, all eyes are on me,
Yeah.
everything. You don't get your Vieira.
One thing it's ruined now, I think, is penalties, because the amount of keepers that have been pulled back for retakes when they've saved it because they've had a foot off the line. I remember De Gea got pulled back and he wasn't even off his line.
It's ridiculous. Mike Dean's loving it.
Yeah,
But, like,
my dad's the biggest Mike Dean hater in the universe.
I can see
man.
why.
He absolutely despises Mike Dean.
I think he's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes across like a funny bloke. I mean, in real life, I imagine he's a funny guy.
Why
but
do you
it
think
just makes him, just
it
makes
works
it about him?
so well in rugby and not in football?
The respect's one thing of it as well. I think in terms
Yeah.
of players respecting referees and decisions that are being made. I don't think there's as much pressure on referees in rugby.
One thing
I think
they
there's
do
more
have-
pressure on referees in football.
One thing they do have in rugby as well, when you say about, oh, you want to know what's going on, the referees have all got microphones in rugby, so you can hear
it,
what the
yeah.
referee's saying to the people in the third umpire
Yeah,
room
yeah.
and what they're saying to the assistant referees.
That's a
as
lovely
well.
touch, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's cool.
But you can't have that in football because even you hear,
too
it with,
much swearing.
you hear it with the bloody crowd noises off. I don't watch it with crowd noises on at the moment. I watch it with it off. Fucking this, fucking
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Referee
yeah.
want a fucking foul.
Yeah.
Screaming. You get that in football. You don't get it in rugby.
I must say, COVID times, watching a game of football, I love hearing the
I
net
do.
ripple.
I
I
love
You know, the
hearing them just
chink of
arguing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who was it got caught out recently? Was it for Liverpool?
A few of them, to be fair. Klopp got caught out for shouting. At the
There was two players against
fourth
each
official.
other. It might have been United. It was one of the top teams, but I can't remember. Oh no, Barcelona.
Which one was
Oh
it?
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
Griezmann
it's
and Piqué. Yeah, they had a fight. They had a massive
Absolutely.
argument on the pitch.
Hammering
And
into
the
each other.
Lukaku and Ibrahimovic one as well.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, yeah.
That one recently.
Piqué
and Griezmann were on the same team.
Yeah, that was the
totally
worst.
off topic, and I know we'll come back round, but just in sport, can you remember any famous fights of the same team?
Yeah,
Bowyer.
Lee Bowyer, Kieran Dyer.
There's a fight going on here between two Newcastle players.
Was that because Lee Bowyer is all red like a tomato, and then he just looks up like he's crying nearly. He's done that to me. Oh,
Both of them get sent off.
God, it's so funny. They're some of the most ridiculous moments of the game, aren't they? I could spend a whole day watching old match of the day footage or just ridiculous moments that should never have happened. That's definitely one
That's
of them.
up there.
Did the referee see that in action, or did he get brought up back to say, "Oh, you need to look at this. What's happening"?
I think the Lino saw it
yeah.
at the time because it was years ago, wasn't it? Now, so I think the Lino definitely saw it. The ref probably saw it because everyone in the stadium was going, "Oh God!"
Can you remember? Was it in the Champions League? But does it still happen? Where you've got a referee on the line still?
The point
Oh yeah, the UEFA have the behind the
Do
goal
they still
thing.
have that? Because
I hope they don't.
It was just stupidest. They didn't do
Makes
anything.
sense.
I don't know why they were there.
One time it was in a quarter-final or semi. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Middlesbrough or something. But
Not in quarter-final semi, sure.
Yeah. Can you not remember when Middlesbrough smashed
Yeah,
it?
I do,
That was
actually,
because I will mention name. I think I'll be okay. Chris Riggott, he used to play Derby.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
when Middlesbrough. He used to have a horse up here. So then that sent me into I love Middlesbrough. I went to his wedding and all the players were there. So
sick.
little Mikey sort of I'm a
With your
Middlesbrough
autograph
fan
book.
now. I've got his boots framed at the minute in there. And again, that was an era where I was watching Middlesbrough play and they did really well in that game. I remember my mum and dad were having a meal and I was watching the football and they saw them go 3-0 down or something daft and they all went and just started eating. And I was like, Dad, it's 3-2, and they all come back in. And then I think Riggott scored.
Really?
Yeah, he
Oh,
toe
wow.
poked it in on the line and we went mental. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Because he used to come round and play Pro Evo.
Oh.
It was, cool.
They had
Playing
some
the World
quality
Cup.
players though, Borough back then.
That
was that when
cool,
they had Janino?
Yeah, was it
He was-
Paducah as well up front?
They have
He
Mark
did play for them for a bit,
Paducah.
didn't he?
Did they
Yeah.
have Gianluca Vialli at one point?
Gareth Southgate,
Southgate, definitely.
Or was it? They had one.
Ravanelli.
Big
yeah.
Ooth up there with
it was Ravanelli, not Vialli. That was it.
Ravanelli.
Yeah.
They had a
Brixie
quality
Ravanelli.
Italian striker anyway. I
Yeah.
can't remember which one.
they
Janino
who was the Egyptian? They had that big Egyptian
Mido?
up front. Was it Meadow?
Did he play for them?
I think, yeah. He was scoring week in, week out, wasn't he? I think it was.
Was he for them? I can't remember who he played for, actually. He definitely played in the Prem.
We'll have a look. I'll put it on this podcast, don't worry, lads. No copyright
Was it
action.
Sunderland? He was in North East, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll have a look. I think it was Meadow up there. He was a good player.
He was
Who did they have
quality.
in nets? Mark Schwartz?
Schwarzer played
yeah.
for them for a while.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's when they had Cellnet Riverside. wasn't it?
Yeah. When it 808 on the
808 at some point as well,
Yeah.
Because it was the Cellnet Riverside Stadium, wasn't it? For a bit, I remember that.
So yeah, I definitely took us on a tangent.
So
We
stop
went
talking about
so
Middlesbrough.
far away. But now, what do you think to technology in snooker?
Snooker.
Oh, I've been watching a lot of pool recently.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why? Why have you put yourself through that?
algorithms.
Really?
I watched one on
yeah.
YouTube, but it was all the trick shots, and
Oh,
then they
they're
started
pretty
taking.
aggressive, isn't it?
I can't for the life record a player's name, but he's the best of the best apparently.
I don't know any pool
Dude,
players, mate.
it's a good game.
I know.
It is a good game.
Oh, does Ronnie O'Sullivan dabble in pool, or is it
No,
pure
it's just
snooker?
snooker, lad, isn't it?
snooker and
I think
weed.
it was. That's why I got given that algorithm though, because I watched the Ronnie O'Sullivan shot. It was some of his best shots and trick play. Do you know when
Yeah.
they sort of hit
The
it
chips
down
and
and it
stuff.
flips over
Bounces
and does
over one
stuff.
ball, spins back.
Competitive
to the
pool
one.
though, do they still use like 9-ball pool rather than 8-ball?
There's different games, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I must say, I'm not an expert. I've just been watching YouTube after YouTube of them.
Because I remember
But
watching
it's got
it
me
once.
in the mood.
I remember watching it once, and it was had all the numbered balls like you do on.
There
on
is
the-
definitely
on the blue tables.
because it's billiards or something.
Billiards,
yeah,
yeah,
billiards.
something
That's
different.
it. There's different types and different games for it.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry, lads. I definitely took it.
So now we've spoken about snooker.
And everyone at home, I hope you've enjoyed all this. But are there, because we started on a negative, you happy with some technology then? You're enjoying seeing it progress? You want it to stop where it is then, are you saying? If we're talking football's term, you want to go, right, we've got goal line, we've got a bit more eyes on the ball, but let's just let it run. Is that where you're happy?
Dial back the VAR for me. Yeah,
Dial
I think
back
it's
VAR.
dial back the VAR, keep the goal line technology, and maybe think of something in terms of rules for handball and offside, because they're the two at the moment that are the most contentious, I would say, of the two rules. So if they can figure out a proper offside and handball rule that doesn't screw half people over and have a very grey area that you can say this and that.
You can't have subjectivity.
Yeah,
and
if there's any
nuance.
subjectivity, then don't bring in VAR, because at the end of the day, it should be the decision of the referee on the field to go, yeah, I think this happened. You've got assistant referees, and they go, yeah, they say what they want. And then, yeah, ultimately, you should just make a decision off the back of that. We've had that for years. That's been the case for years and years and
Maybe
years.
it was just we needed better teaching for the referees and for the linesmen,
Maybe.
and they need to be more aware on the pitch.
Yeah.
They need to have more of a football brain, I think. Because
Yeah.
I read Mark Clattenburg talking about them, and he was saying like there's a lot of referees who you can tell have never played football.
Yeah,
And if they've never played football, you
So
don't have a
true.
proper understanding of how the game flows and how it's supposed to play. So I think that's a big factor in it as well. There's probably a lot of referees that they do it very logically and methodically and by the law, and this is the rule, and this is how I do it, and this is what I by the book. But you then lose some of the charm and that they say the artistic side of the football.
Yeah, yeah.
And your own discretion, I think, is an important bit as a referee. I think you need to have your own discretion and go, technically that's the rule, but I saw this happen, I saw this, this is my decision I'm making. Stand by it. And if you've got your rationale and you can back it up, then
I think
you
that's
should
a
be able to.
fantastic point, actually. I've not really considered that before. I mean, I was a referee for a while. God, that was hideous.
I bet.
It's a lonely
I
sport,
wouldn't
you
do
know, when you're a referee. It doesn't matter who you're helping out at that time. You soon let them down.
One more decision, yeah.
Soon after you let them down. Man, I remember I told my story, but it was for a children's match, under nines.
That would be the worst with the
Yeah,
pen.
under
yeah, it's
nines,
usually the
man.
worst.
And I was doing my boxing at that time. I just wanted a few extra quid on a Sunday when I wasn't playing. So I thought, yeah, well, I'll be a referee for a bit. I think I was supporting an injury. But this dad came on the pitch midway, squared up to me, shouting at me. And I knew, oh God, if I let him down again, he's coming on and hammering me. And then we started the second half, 5 minutes in, gives something up, he sprints on and I just bosh him. Like, I got in so much trouble by the FA. I ran off as well. My dad picked me up, calling the phone, but it is a lonely game. It really is.
He probably deserved it, though. That's the problem. He shouldn't be on your pitch.
Just being
This is like with that referee the other day, though, who was
about to say
Alan
Darren,
Judge head to head with him.
that's
Yeah,
it.
I think that was fair.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because the argument that people were saying, the argument against him, that people were saying, if the player had done that to the ref, it would have been a 6-month ban. Because if you went,
I disagree with that as well, though. I don't think it should have been.
No.
I don't think it should be. I think that should be in football. I
Yeah.
think a little bit of that.
I know what you mean. I
Makes it a little bit more.
I agree
more
with
fun.
you. It's got quite contrived over time, hasn't it? Football.
It's got a bit weak, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, what we also probably need to discuss or think about is the money that they're gaining from VAR and is in the system.
Yeah.
And
They're
they
too
probably
far
pushed
gone.
an agenda and wanted this for more than just to better the sport, but gain something from it as well.
Yeah.
I'm definitely with you. I want to go back to the rawness of what football was and what football is, and have a bit of, as I said, human error in there.
Yeah.
It made for a really fun nighttime match of the day,
Yeah.
where you're all having this debate and
all the pundits
thought
are
about
talking
it.
about it.
The refs made a total blunder,
Yeah.
or often the linesman. I really enjoyed it in sport. We've got to dissect it for what it is, and it's a game, really. I know money's corrupted it to the high heavens,
Yeah.
but it's a beautiful game. It's an artful game where it's a bit raw and ready and nasty at times.
Yeah.
What I was saying earlier, the Keane and Vieira days. I want a bit more of that.
Yeah.
If them two are going
miss
at
that.
it and swearing at each other,
Yeah.
I don't like seeing spitting, but you know what I mean. Going at it.
Going at it, it's war. It's war at the end of
Never
the
happen
day.
again.
No.
No,
That's never going to happen
something
again.
VAR does ruin because, obviously everything that you do is going to get watched.
Can you remember, honestly, because I was the Arsenal fan of these days.
Man U Arsenal.
The prep towards it though, it was
Arsenal was my favourite game.
It was
always.
the hour before
Yeah.
where they're talking about it. Then you look at the players in the tunnel
Yeah.
and they won't talk to each other. It's just
was
hardcore.
it the
But
Kieran
now they're
Van
cuddling, they're high fiving.
Yeah, and that's the difference, isn't it? But like the Kieran Van Nistelrooy, I think, wasn't it, at the
Yeah,
time? Was that
yeah.
when they had that?
Remember when he dived in the box? That was naughty. Yeah. I remember, and talking of the tunnels, the Neville brothers,
Yeah,
even then, when
one side.
they wouldn't talk to each other, even.
Yeah.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's your own blood, it's your own brother, but you took it seriously, and it was passion. It was just driven passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And money, I mean, that's another one. Should we do another podcast now, lads, on money and football?
Money Is there too much money? Yeah.
But it has taken it to a different game. The money, the technology. I know we sound like our granddads at the minute, but it's important to go, no, we know what we want, we know what we like, and it's becoming, in an essence, corrupt.
Yeah.
Manipulating it too far.
It kind of, you draw parallels with like governments and stuff, don't you? So we've obviously got, in football, we've got VAR.
Yeah.
So is VAR being pushed so much because someone's been given a contract and it's making the money because they're mates with someone in the world of football as such? It's like with the donations to political
FIFA.
parties and things like that. Are they pushing this certain companies to do this certain thing and this company to do this certain thing because they've got a donation and they've said they'll give them some money for doing it and that kind of thing? Are we in that situation with VAR in football? I don't know, obviously, but that could be something to do with if we try and get rid of it, the kickback might be massive because of the money involved, and it could be too far down the line now already.
Look at the corruption in the
know.
sport. Look at the World
Look at
Cup.
FIFA, yeah.
Look at FIFA. Absolutely
feasibly,
made a
yeah.
third job of it.
Yeah.
Of such an incredible sport. It is. It's the one you can't not get involved in when you're with the pack mentality, the crowd, your mates. I remember when I was travelling, my mate supported West Ham, and I just turned into the biggest West Ham fan ever.
Yeah.
And he was the biggest
Green
Derby
sheet.
fan because he just made it fun.
Yeah.
Together we were just
Yeah.
going mental. We were in I was working in a monkey sanctuary, well out the way, but it was in the middle of nowhere. So we had a little TV, and our Saturdays were getting together. I remember that.
Getting together from watching West Ham lose.
Yeah. Win sometimes, and when
Really?
they
They win
won, we
now.
went mad.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you were doing this, surely they weren't winning there.
Yeah.
They had a bad patch, didn't
Couple
they?
of times, but when they did, it was big. But yeah, the charm, as you say, from football is seems to be seeping out of it and taken away, and I don't like things that get contrived. I don't like things that get money driven. And it seems to be the case. Maybe this is why the YouTube teams are coming through, and so on, that you're seeing it take a different shape. It's pushed more people, I've noticed, to go and see your local Sunday League match. Go and see your local Saturday
It's funny,
team.
isn't it? Lo-fi.
But that-
Lo-fi, that's the lo-fi football.
Yeah, yeah, the
That's what it
lo-fi
is. People
football.
are chasing the lo-fi football
Yeah,
now, rather than
what
this
it was.
overproduced Hollywood football.
Yeah.
But that YouTube team type thing, that's another example of how technology does help.
Yeah.
Because without technology,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have those.
No,
No
that's-
one would be filming the YouTube teams.
Yeah.
They'd just be there on playing fields.
And that's like technology in general, isn't it, really? Rather than being thrust into it, that's using technology in conjunction with Sunday League football to then go, well, we've started a YouTube channel like the SC Dons and Beatties and people like that.
Yeah.
Saying about they've smashed it, really, doing stuff like that, haven't they? And then even hashtag United, look at them. They're now in the system. Like they're working their way up in the FA Cup and things like that, aren't they?
Since COVID as well, a lot of the lower league clubs have started doing their own thing. Like Forest have got their own now, haven't they?
Yeah.
They televise all their games, and you can do a subscription service.
Yeah.
If that gets more widespread, would that not just take the power away from Sky Sports and away from these TV
Yeah.
giants, which could be great for fans anyway?
Yeah, I completely agree. And for me, when something new is being introduced, it has to go through trial and error, doesn't it? I just hope it's being considered that this is highly error stage.
Yeah.
And there probably is a way of bettering it. I don't know what that way is. And there's no way of me explaining it on this podcast right now, piecing it all apart. But I would like to suggest that there is betterment that we can push for in football. But we need to learn from what we've been through in the past and the great parts of it and allow that back into the game, which we have scrapped for a while. I'm just so into the hardcoreness of it all.
I am,
I love that.
It feels like a different game, doesn't it? Like you've got rugby league, rugby union. Is there going to be a split off? Is there going to be a football? I don't know, technology football, and there's going to be association football.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
let's say.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. This one we use the technology, this one we don't.
Yeah.
And I know which one I'll be going
I'll be
towards.
watching,
I know
I'll
which
be watching
one.
the lo-fi one.
Yeah, the lo-fi style. I suspect our dads and granddads would be definitely going down that path. And I think we need it. I
Yeah.
really do.
And maybe these YouTube channels and things doing these, like say with these other channels and with your hashtag United, maybe they are doing these things that need to be done, and maybe that is going to push that side of it into kind of the mainstream. But then you get this point of when it gets into the mainstream, Sky will jump on it, BBC will jump on it, money will get chucked in it, it will lose its charm again. So is there just this vicious cycle of once it gets so
If
successful,
you want to find
too
the
much
problem,
money goes in?
just follow the money. Just follow the trail of the money and you go, oh, there's it. Right, flick, he's gone. Right, go back to what it was. Can you guys think of any other sports just out of interest
Tennis.
where... Yes, and
Good.
and
Tennis is great, yeah.
If they do it right, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
And all the fans are clapping. Wait!
Yeah.
Oh,
It's great. Like, it's a bit of theatre as well.
Yeah.
That adds to the game for me. Like, I think
You can't dispute that though. It's in or it's out.
It's goal line technology. It's the same.
Though
it's
it
the same
does
technology.
sometimes go
very close.
so close,
Yeah.
disgustingly close. You can't. That's anomalies. It's not always the case. It's just some shots are that way, and you have to have a rule. You have to have a structure.
And it's black and white. That works.
Yeah, this is what you see, and if you can put again a piece of paper between it, it's out.
Yeah.
So you've got that, and tennis have done it well. Rugby have done it well.
Yeah.
Football have just totally struggled.
Yeah.
But I think that is also accordance of there's so many rules in football. There's so many things you've got to take into account. Was that an over-the-top tackle? Was his stud showing?
And they're constantly changing as well.
How far back do you go for that decision? Does that one null out that one? It's like,
Yeah,
it's a tricky one.
there's too much to take into account. In and out, very easy. On rugby pitch, on tennis pitch, on other pitches, we know what that looks like. But when we have to bring subjectivity into the game and the ref has to look at a bad foul, look at intent, look at so many other factors, it makes it very hard for him to I feel sorry for refs, in honesty, at times.
Hard for him,
I think it's going to make them worse as well, because if there is going to be this over-reliance on VAR, then surely the quality of refereeing is going to get...
You start doubting yourself as well,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
as a
of
referee.
course.
If you know every decision you make is going to get scrutinised by someone a few
Yeah,
miles away in a truck
Yeah.
or in an office or whatever watching it back, then that person who's making those decisions, if you've got someone essentially watching over your shoulder, you're going to be a bit more, well, maybe I should listen to them, maybe I should look at that.
It'd be
if you don't have them
amazing.
there, you just be, I mean, obviously I'm a Liverpool fan, I watched the Liverpool-Everton match yesterday.
Yeah.
The referee in that game, he made a decision. He was quite. I didn't like a lot of decisions he made, but he was very matter of fact to the point
Yeah.
on his decision. He was like, even went over to the VAR. Nah. Don't disagree with the decision. And I think there needs to be more of that. Just taking accountability for what you're doing, and rather than having this whole overarching, this technology thing's going to make the decision for
quote
me.
in it or proverb, too many cooks spoil the broth.
Yeah.
And if you've got two referees on the pitch, essentially, it's not. My dad thinks the referee's going to become obsolete, and you won't have one on the pitch. It'll just sort of be on a
Yeah,
board. And,
maybe.
On the technology football side, you could see that happening, but then I think a lot of people would dislike that and probably not want to watch it. So
100%. But then we would have probably thought that 20 years ago, but yet where we're at now has happened, so it wouldn't be too surprising if suddenly 20 years time something dramatic and drastic happens. But I don't want to see it. I don't think it's a vision I can see unfolding, but I understand where the ideologies and thoughts come from of it unfolding because of how stupid it's got. I really like what you said there, though, about the referee doubting himself. Because can you imagine every move you make, they go back and say, no, you should have picked that up. You should have got that. You should have been here. Because there's probably so many mistakes referees make in a match and did it back in the day where you just they do, don't they, go very headstrong. No, stop talking, no, go back now, you get a yellow, you go back. And he had authority.
my decision,
but if he keeps going in his ear, oh no, you're wrong, when the players come over and say, well, you got that one wrong, and he's got to keep looking back forward and seeing, I'd go crazy, honestly. I'd go mental.
You've got to be very strong mentally to not let that affect you. To have people going, you're wrong, and then someone who's trained at the level you are to go, yeah, we think you're wrong as well, actually.
And they've seen it from multiple different
angles. And it's like, Jesus, how do you make a decision in that situation? How do you do anything with confidence?
Go look at the
I would
screen.
go down.
But I think the only thing that they need for there's more things they need to improve it, but the main thing I think they need to improve it is to get a time limit. Just it would cut the delays out, but then at the end of the time limit, if they still can't reach the
decision's done,
then the referees has the final say. Because at the minute,
I can imagine that would bring a lot of confusion in the game. Do you know what I mean?
But would it bring in any more confusion than what's currently in? Because at the minute they can just carry on talking about it for as long as they want, and they do. They carry on talking about it for a good 4 or 5 minutes.
And that puts the ref under even more pressure then if it's a time limit, doesn't it? So it's like, I just think the fact of having multiple people looking at one thing doesn't seem to work, and just let the referee make
I think when the ref has the screen,
there's not many players that speak highly of it.
Yeah, maybe that's the situation. Just let them have a screen. Let the ref go and look at a screen. Don't let all these other people in the ear start saying things to you. Just let the ref go and look at the screen and go, I was right, or no, I was probably wrong, actually.
When it first came into the Prem, they didn't have that screen, did they?
No,
they had it in UEFA, they didn't have it in...
Yeah, they had it, but they just didn't use it.
Yeah.
Stupid.
No, I mean, even for the players, if you're in a quarter-final, semi-final cup game and suddenly you've got to wait 4 or 5 minutes, you're playing a different game after them 4 or 5 minutes. When you're in flow, and especially there's just been a goal, is it a goal, isn't it a goal? The mindset of the players are all over the place. They've just disallowed it. But they've stopped them for 5 minutes, even though they were rampaging. They were the ones on top. They've just scored this goal. Oh no, it's not. Their mentalities have all changed in 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be interesting to know if it had an impact on injuries as well. Because if you're standing around for a few minutes, not running, not moving, your muscles go cold.
Especially
you could end up snapping a hamstring or whatever.
I mean, we've gone through what it's going to do for the referee. We've gone through what it's done for the fans and being in them games. But imagining for the players, they don't talk positively about it. No. There's so many interviews come out now. We need to get rid of this stupid technology. I mean, probably not for the ones where it's gone towards their case.
But still, it's like I say, they just lose the enjoyment a bit, don't they? Is it Patrick Bamford the other night, wasn't it, who had that goal disallowed for being literally... it didn't look offside to me, to be fair, but the VAR had drawn the lines and said it was offside, and he even came out, he's like, well, it's making the game better, supposedly, isn't it? But obviously they all disagree. No one I think if you spoke to most footballers, they probably wouldn't want it as a thing, or especially in its current way.
Why ruin something that was perfect? to my eye, it could have been better. I know there was some daft decisions, but we built a really good game up. Football in probably our generation is where I do see it as its prime in essence. I mean, I'm probably biased as well, but it feels like we've gone down a dirty path, and it's can we go back from that though?
That's it. I don't know.
You know, when you've opened Pandora's box and you go, ooh, this is what we do, and then you go back and we see all these daft decisions again that they've not done well, and you go, well, VAR would have picked that up.
Yeah.
VAR would have, it's hindsight sort of thing, isn't it? And it is sticky.
I think flaws are part of the game.
Yeah.
It's one of those old adages, isn't it? You don't know what you've lost and don't know what you've had until it's gone.
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
And I think it's part of that as well. It's these contentious decisions. At the time when they happen, you're a bit pissed off, but they're a good talking point. A good thing to talk about with your mates. So a good thing to thrash out and disagree over. And it's an interesting part of the game for me as well. I think it's one of those things that we've still got it with VAR, but at the moment it's just that's the overarching thing. It's VAR. In the past, it's decision. What do you think? Well, if I was ref, I'd have done this. Well, if I was ref, I'd have done it. And it's their decision. It's one person. It's on one
VAR
person.
is just the big talking point.
Yeah, now it just gets pinned on that, doesn't it?
I tell you what, lads, I'm looking forward to the day that we all start fighting and disagreeing on something, because it sounds like we're all pretty much of agreement again.
I think so.
On this, get rid of VAR. It's pretty much. Do you conclude with that, Josh? Are you happy with that?
If it's a choice between VAR in its current state or none, I would say none.
Yeah.
But I do think there are improvements.
So you think it could be done better then?
I think there are some things they could do to make it slightly better.
Go on then.
I think the time limit is the main one.
Time limit.
And then still have the referee also reduce the amount of people in the VAR room, because how many are there at the minute?
So unnecessary.
And none of them seem to have
trust
the
the referee.
They'll disagree with each other as well. So
exactly.
The more people you get, the more chance you've got of disagreement.
Because then they're all coming back with these, looking through the rule book. Yes, but here it states and you go, oh man, if you're going to analyse it to that core, go back to the man that studied this, been on all the FA courses you can go on. He's the centre of the pitch. He's in charge. Trust his decision and stop taking it back into this boardroom of executives that don't really know the rules themselves to some degree.
Yeah, we'll have to read it up, don't they, a lot of the time.
Amen, lads. Are we happy with that?
I think so.
Get rid of VAR, technology in all the other realms, and sport. We're happy with. We're comfortable. I can't see it being bad in anything else.
I've not noticed any issue. I don't watch a lot of other sports. Obviously, this has been very football centric.
We've got better angles. We've got better slow mo. We can see what's gone off. The analysis of all the games that we like to watch are better. And in terms of technology, one area we've not gone down is how it's advanced the athletes, the
video analysis and that sort of thing.
Video analysis, but the technology they're using to get fitter. Technology, like you've got Whoop straps where you can see your heart rate to a degree, you can see everything.
They've all got them vest things on, don't they?
Monitor that.
Everything,
the treadmills have got to another level, the weight route, everything. I see it advancing. It's making archetypal athletes to the core top level of athleteship, and that's cool because that's what I want to watch. I want to watch the pros do their best in their game, but it's when it comes to the officials, it seems to have got it all wrong.
It's not perfect.
No, not perfect.
Not really. It's not good. It's not even that level yet.
We want to go back.
Take me back to the past. Go that time.
The good old days.
Guys, again, thank you for being a part of Series of Theories podcast. Get in touch if you've got any other ideas. If you think we're all knobheads, let us know. We'll change our views just for you.
That's how it works now.
I just want to be liked again.
Sorry.
Dishing out public apologies.
Peace and love, guys. You know where we're at. Get in touch with us. Really enjoying this. Thank you very much.
Yes, don't cancel us.
Don't cancel us again. We really like this.